8 Ways that Young Sheldon Fundamentally Modifies the Big Bang Theory. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Young Sheldon alters the Big Bang Theory in a number of ways, even though they both live in the same reality. In 2017, after 10 years, CBS made the decision to launch its first spin-off in an effort to broaden the scope of the Big Bang Theory. Young Sheldon, the character's origin narrative, is based on Sheldon Cooper's love of telling tales about his early years as a young genius in Texas. Apart from that, though, it has changed its narrative style over the past few years, turning into more of an ensemble series. This indicates that the other Cooper family members have received more attention, which was shown in Season 6. Young Sheldon has consistently come under fire for its careless handling of maintaining established continuity. The prequel might have easily avoided several plot holes if it had been more careful with its storytelling. Even though it is unable to follow through on everything Sheldon revealed about his early years in the Big Bang Theory, since some of it was just too absurd. In addition to giving Sheldon's strangest eccentricities more meaning, Young Sheldon's more varied storytelling alters some of the most relevant elements of the character in the nerd-focused sitcom. The way George is portrayed is among the first differences between Young Sheldon and the Big Bang Theory. Sheldon and Mary have nothing but negative things to say about the Cooper dad in the original CBS comedy. They said he was ignorant, indolent, and always intoxicated. He was a terrible husband and a terrible father for the most part. There was no opposition to this unfavorable portrayal of the character since the mother and son team supported one another's accounts and George was no longer present to defend himself. That is, until Sheldon's father was introduced by Lance Barber in Young Sheldon. Some of George's traits have been preserved in the prequel. He continues to enjoy beer and sports in Young Sheldon. He differs greatly, though, from the careless family man Sheldon and Mary portrayed in Young Sheldon. Even though he still has some shortcomings and isn't as smart as the boy genius, he is a devoted family guy who goes above and beyond for his loved ones. Young Sheldon, if anything, demonstrates how little George's own family values him. In the Big Bang Theory, Mary wasn't exactly a kind and nurturing mother figure, despite her obvious affection for Sheldon. She was quite harsh and judgmental. The fact that she justified her actions by citing her faith only made matters worse. Young Sheldon, for some reason, gives Mary greater depth. In the prequel, she is much more subdued and gentle. In some ways, witnessing her go through a problem with her church and being preoccupied with Sheldon has made her more relatable. However, Young Sheldon also discloses some shady aspects of her past that the Big Bang Theory never brought up. This includes her own propensity for infidelity with Pastor Rob. The inappropriate relationship between George and Brenda has been successfully terminated by the spin-off, but Mary and Pastor Rob's relationship has not yet been definitively resolved. Even though Missy lacks her brother's level of intelligence, she is still the most well-rounded clan member. She is charming, emotionally mature, and clever, so it's surprising that she never realized her full potential and ended up being the least successful Cooper sibling. More of Missy's tragic story is revealed in Young Sheldon Season 6, which also explains why her Big Bang Theory debut was ultimately tragic. In addition to the challenging role of providing emotional support to the family, she must contend with her own parents' constant neglect of her while they concentrate on Sheldon. The oldest Cooper child was portrayed as arrogant, vindictive, and even a little playboy during Georgie's stint on the Big Bang Theory. Mr. Tyre has had several spouses and appears to be happy spending all of his time growing his company. However, Sheldon as a young man presents a different image of the character, one that is amorous, responsible, and loyal. Perhaps Young Sheldon's most inventive plotline is the relationship between Georgie and Mandy. As long as they wind up splitting up, CBS has greater creative freedom to continue their story, since it was never brought up in The Big Bang Theory. Young Sheldon obviously chose to omit some of the Big Bang Theory's stories. Others, on the other hand, demonstrate Sheldon's pathological lying in the nerd-focused series. It's nearly inconceivable to think that the boy genius, who had an eidetic memory, would overlook some important aspects about his early stories unless he was purposefully altering them to suit his own interests. That is precisely what happened when Brenda's child, despite being bright, was dubbed a big bully by Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory. The same is true of his narrative about his agreement with Tam, which is improbable today since they hardly ever see each other. However, Sheldon's admission of seeing his father cheating when he was 13 years old during spring break may have been the biggest lie he ever told on The Big Bang Theory. Nothing even similar to what he told Penny worked out, and the time period in young Sheldon is now over. Numerous inquiries concerning Sheldon's early years have been raised by Paige's debut in Young Sheldon. She has had a greater influence on Sheldon and Amy's romance in The Big Bang Theory than she has on his academic career. The fact that Sheldon had never been attracted to anyone until meeting Amy added even more significance to their love tale. He had a crush on Paige, so that wasn't quite accurate. Even though he wouldn't let Amy enter his room when they first started dating on The Big Bang Theory, he even allowed her to sleep on his dorm bed in Young Sheldon Season 6. Sheldon's unique bond with Meemaw was emphasized in The Big Bang Theory. In the early years of the prequel, young Sheldon relied on that, but it has since shifted away from fostering their relationship. Connie has had more touching encounters and experiences with Missy and Georgie in the past few years. In particular, she becomes quite close to the oldest Cooper child in Young Sheldon Season 6 as she supports him and Mandy throughout their pregnancy. The socially awkward genius was devastated when Sheldon and Amy encountered a significant obstacle in their pursuit of the Nobel Prize in Physics. Young Sheldon's grant database project contradicts The Big Bang Theory's assertion that it was Sheldon's first major setback. Sheldon recovered very quickly from his East Texas Tech displeasure, even without any words of encouragement from George. So his pep talk seemed to have lost much of its impact. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.